Her human spouse revealed his true power, and the alien queen stood stunned. Queen Salith's claw scraped the treaty tablet. Ink bloomed across the digital seal. The alliance holds. Humanity's gift seals it. Elia's Mercer stood rigid beside her throne. The grand hall thrummed with alien murmurs. Towering Vorthari courtiers, scaled hides shimmering under crystal lights, eyed him like a misplaced ornament. His human frame, unadorned by their iridescent robes, drew snickers from the back ranks. He extended his hand. No claws. Just steady fingers. The queen passed him the stylus. Elias signed with a flourish. Alliance affirmed, Your Majesty. Chancellor Yuvash Kaur stepped forward. The power broker's frilled neck flared in approval or triumph. Splendid. The human consort graces our court. He gestured to a low dais beside the throne. Velvet cushions waited, embroidered with Vorthari motifs of coiled serpents. Your seat, Elias Mercer, ceremonial and fitting. Elias glanced at Salith. Her golden eyes flicked to him, unreadable. He nodded and descended to the dais. The cushions sank under his weight. From here he overlooked nothing but the throne's shadow. Yuvash turned to the assembly. As tradition demands, the consort observes. Security briefings remain for Vorthari eyes only, whispers rippled. A few courtiers nodded, frills quivering. Commander Rix Tal, security chief, stood at attention nearby. His armored plates gleamed. He shot Elias a neutral stare, distrust etched in his rigid posture. Salith raised a hand. Silence fell. The ceremony concludes, court dismissed. Courtiers filed out. Elias rose from his dais. Servants whisked away the treaty tablet. Only Salith, Yuvash, Rix, and a lingering envoy remained. Envoy Kithra Nin from the rival Thalix conquered lingered by a pillar. Her scales were duller, opportunistic. A bold move, Queen. Marrying soft-skinned primitives, the conquered offers better terms without such novelties. Salith's tail flicked. Our terms stand, envoy, leave us. Kithra smirked and departed. Yuvash bowed low. Wise Majesty, the human bolsters optics, nothing more. Elias held his tongue. He followed Salith through a side arch into her private chambers. Crystal walls hummed with embedded tech. Servants bowed out. She settled onto a levitating perch. Speak your mind, Elias, you've been silent. He met her gaze, practicality first. The marriage stabilizes your borders, good, but I'm no decoration. Her frill half unfurled, amusement, caution. The court sees you as such. Yuvash ensures it. What do you propose? One concession. Elias leaned forward. Access to the palace maintenance corridors. Full schematics. I need to understand the guts of this place. Salith's eyes narrowed. Vorthari palaces sprawled like living organisms, veins of conduits, recyclers, and shields woven through stone. Maintenance was grunt work. Low-caste techs handled it. No ruler tread there. Why? Her voice sharpened. Elias kept it simple. Human diplomats train on infrastructure. Back home, we fix our own messes. Wars start from overlooked leaks. Let me map it, no risk. She studied him, moments stretched. Finally, she tapped a console. A slim token materialized, a crystal fob pulsing blue. Granted, but not alone. Commander Rix entered at her summons. Majesty, shadow the consort in the underways, report any irregularities. Rix's plates clicked in salute. As ordered. His gaze bored into Elias. Distrust lingered, but duty overrode. Elias pocketed the token. Thank you, Salith. She rose, towering over him. Her scent, ozone, and spice filled the space. Prove Yuvash wrong. Court gossip calls you fragile. Don't make me regret this. He nodded, first step taken. Rix led him down a concealed lift. Stone parted with a hiss. Cool air rushed up, laced with machine oil and ozone. The corridors narrowed, pipes snaked overhead, glowing conduits pulsed like arteries. Stay close, human. Rix's voice echoed. His stun lance hummed at his belt. Techs rarely venture deep. Fault lines here could vent plasma. Elias scanned the walls. Human eyes picked out patterns, vibration scars, microfractures. Vorthari tech excelled at scale, palaces that self-healed macro damage. But micro, humans spotted the devil there. Token, Rix grunted. Elias flashed it, a hatch irised open. They descended spiral stairs, drips echoed, far below a hum grew core recyclers. Hours blurred, Elias traced lines, noting junctions. Rix trailed, frill twitching at every jog. Pointless, Rix muttered. Our systems are flawless. Elias tapped a seam. Flawless until not. See this weld, vibration mismatch, could cascade. Rix peered closer, his scanner beeped. Negligible. Elias marked it anyway. They pressed on. Back in chambers that evening, Salith awaited. Yuvash hovered like a shadow. Productive consort? Elias handed her a data slate. Mapped corridors glowed. Preliminary issues flagged. Uvesh snatched it. Maintenance logs show clear. Salith scrolled, her frills stilled. He found 3 unlogged stress points. Verify Chancellor. Uvesh paled under scales. Ah yes, Majesty, Rix reported next. The human moves like he was born to it, no fear. Salith's gaze softened on Elias. Curious. Kithra Nin burst in unannounced diplomatic breach. Queen, Thalix fleets mass at the border. They demand concessions or war, sign now or lose the outer rims. Uvesh whirled. The treaty, Salith stood. Details. Kithra thrust a hollow. Fleets swarmed, Thalix cruisers dagger-shaped. Your human alliance means nothing. Softskins can't fight, court prejudice flared. Elias stayed silent, mind racing. Alarms wailed, palace shields flickered, Rix barked into comms. Breach, saboteurs in the underways, Salith's eyes snapped to Elias. The corridors, Uvesh stammered. Impossible, Elias grabbed the token. I know the paths, Rix with me. Rix hesitated, then followed. They sprinted to the lift. Conduits sparked below. Explosions rocked the stone. Vorthari techs lay stunned. Thalix infiltrators in black cloaks swarmed a core junction. Shields failing, Rix roared, lance firing. One infiltrator dropped. Elias dodged plasma bolts. Human reflexes, honed on Earth ranges, kicked in. He vaulted a pipe, grabbed a loose panel. No weapons, improvise, he yanked wiring, sparks flew. A conduit overloaded, EMP burst. 3 infiltrators convulsed, armor frying, Rix stared. How? Basic sabotage counter, Elias pointed. Main override there, cover me. Rix laid fire. Elias crawled through vents, his slimmer frame fit where Vorthari bulk couldn't. He reached the core. Thalix bomb ticked, 0020, fingers flew. Human engineering baseline, disassemble, reroute. Wires snipped. Timer froze, shield stabilized, alarm ceased, back topside, courtiers gaped, Uvesh speechless, Kithra's frill deflated. Salith pulled Elias close, her claw gripped his shoulder, gentle, possessive. You saw what we missed, Rix saluted. Consort saved the palace, Kithra backed away. The conquered reconsiders. Elias met Salith's eyes, heat there, not just alliance, bond sparked, but Uvesh recovered. Luck, one fix, another alarm, deeper breach, Elias grinned. Round 2, Salith nodded. Lead on. The court watched the decoration vanish into the guts again. Whispers turned to awe. Elias crouched low, scanners blue glow flickering across rusted conduits. He traced the palace's underbelly, fingers sketching faint glyphs on bulkheads, subtle arrows, branching codes, human mnemonics. Vorthari eyes saw artistic flourishes. He saw escape vectors. Service panels yielded to his multi-tool with a hiss. Air thick with ozone and dust. 1 week married and Salith's court dismissed him as ornamental. Fine. Ornamental saved lives. Footsteps echoed, heavy, scaled. Elias pocketed the scanner. Commander Rix towel loomed in the accessway, lance slung low, frills flared crimson. Consort Mercer explained the markings. Elias straightened, dust shaking from his tunic. Rix's gaze bored in, yellow eyes unblinking. Palace security chief. Loyal to the queen, suspicious of soft-skinned humans. Evacuation routes, Commander, service paths lace this place like veins. Main hall's bottleneck in crisis. Rix's tail lashed. We know our palace, your scribbles deface it. Chancellor Uvesh calls it vandalism, proof of alien meddling. Elias kept his voice even. Test it, time your staff from east wing to shield core, standard drill. Rix snorted vapor. Arrogant. You map without leave, Queen Salith weds for alliance, not disruption. She wedded me, Elias tapped a glyph. This cluster shaves 2 minutes off panic routes. Your bulk fits halls, mine fits these, let me prove it. Rix gripped his lance. Conflict hung thick, distrust versus duty. 1 drill, fail, and I drag you to Uvesh. Deal, Elias grinned, human humble, results spoke. Dawn shift buzzed. Elias slipped into the kitchens, chrono ticking on his wrist. Staff chopped glow roots, steam rising, no announcement. Surprise tested real speed. He blocked the grand arch with a crate simulated breach. Fire in the vaults, service paths now follow marks. Cooks froze, frills quivering. A tech yelped, dropping a ladle. Consort, what? Move, Elias yanked a panel, glyph glowing under his light. Left branch, single file. Chaos erupted. Vorthari bulk jostled, scales scraping, tails tangling, but Elias directed. You vent drop, wide one next. His slimmer frame demonstrated, sliding feet first. They followed, grumbling. Timer 4:12 to junction. Deeper in, forks multiplied. His maze worked, arrows funneled them past dead ends, vents too narrow for saboteurs. A maid panicked at a climb. Elias boosted her, muscles burning from earth gyms. Breathe, up. Uvesh's aide burst in from a side hall, robes flapping. Halt this farce, the Chancellor demands. Envoy Kithra's treaty waits on stability. Elias pointed the glyph cluster. Breach here and kitchens burn first. Go or burn. The aide hesitated, then scrambled. Elias' chrono beeped. Full evac 8:47. Half the standard haul time. Staff tumbled out at the core, gasping, alive. Rix waited topside, arms crossed. Counts rolled in 92% success. He scanned the logs, frills twitching neutral. Impossible, our drills clock 17 minutes. Human baseline. Elias wiped sweat. We improvise paths in disasters, earthquakes, fires taught us mazes. Rix's lance lowered, respect flickered. You turned corridors into a web only you read. On purpose. Elias met his eyes. For her, for the Empire. Rix nodded once. I report to the Queen. Stay. Salith's throne chamber gleamed, crystal spires catching light. Elias lingered at the edge, protocol keeping him shadowed. Uvesh prowled the dais, spines arched. Majesty, the human disrupts, markings mar our heritage. Kithra's envoy laughs, says we bed pets now. Kithra lounged nearby, frills smug, treaty scroll clutched. Vorthari strength falters, accept terms or Thalix probes weaken you. Salith sat regal, claws tapping armrest. Her gaze flicked to Elias, calculating, warm beneath. Arranged union, stability, but his quiet competence stirred something. Rick strode in, saluted sharp. Commander, Salith leaned forward. The consort's drill, Rix projected the chrono. 8:47, Majesty, 92% through service paths, his markings, evac routes, undetected by scans. Thalix couldn't navigate blind. Uvesh hissed. Luck, human trickery, results. Rix cut him. I request authority, adopt the web, train guards. Silence. Kithra's frill deflated an inch. Courtiers murmured. Salith rose, robes whispering, her eyes locked on Elias. Heat there, possessive. She descended, claw brushing his arm, gentle. You mapped my palace without asking. Kept it quiet for respect. Elias held steady. Her scent, spice, and stone filled his lungs. Bond tugged, cross-species pull. Uvesh spluttered. Majesty, he's liability. Outsider games. Salith's tail curled near Elias' leg, protective. He saves what we overlook. Chancellor, hold tongue. Commander, implement consort. Her voice dropped for him alone. Lead more drills with me. Elias' pulse quickened, her claw lingered. Romance sparked not alliance duty but choice. Court gaped. Kithra shifted uneasily. Rick saluted again. As ordered, days blurred. Elias refined the maze, vents widened for Vorthari kits, glyphs standardized. Salith joined sessions, her presence commanding. Staff adapted, whispers shifting. The quiet one knows paths. One eve post-drill, Salith pulled him into a side chamber, door sealed. They underestimated you. Her claw traced his jaw, careful, curious. Human skin fascinated her. Ordinary skills. Elias cupped her scaled hand. Your empire's extraordinary, we mesh. She leaned in, frills flushing violet, lips soft under ridges, brushed his. First real kiss. Fire, prove it always. He nodded, bond sealed, but Uvesh schemed. Kithra pushed harder, treaty venom sweet. Court tension simmered. Then alarms wailed, Thalix breach, conduit sparking below, explosions rocked stone. Elias' maze lit in his mind. He sprinted for service panels. Rix roared behind. Consort, lead. Salith gripped his shoulder. Save us. Courtiers watched the decoration vanish into guts. This time all led, deeper alarms blared, bigger threat. Elias grinned in the dark. Round 2, Salith's voice echoed. Lead on. He dove into his web, maze master, Empire's hidden savior. Your Majesty, Envoy Kithra Nin hissed, her frills quivering as she thrust the treaty addendum forward. This security partnership clause ensures mutual trust. Our auditors gain palace access. Routine inspections only. Elias Mercer straightened in his consort seat beside Queen Salith Vorn. The grand throne room buzzed with courtiers, scaled Vorthari nobles in shimmering robes, their claws tapping stone floors. He scanned the document projected on the central holoslate. Foreign auditors inside the palace, unfettered, his gut tightened. Chancellor Uvesh Kaur leaned forward from his podium, his bulk casting shadows. Wise counsel, envoy, the Queen's recent breaches demand vigilance. Sign now publicly to affirm stability. Salith's claw rested on the armrest, inches from Elia's hand. Her violet eyes flicked to him, brief, assessing. She had kissed him nights ago, sealed their bond beyond duty. But here in court she played the monarch. No risks to her throne, murmurs rippled. Commander Rick's tal shifted at the guard's flank, his armored tail twitching. Distrust etched his scarred muzzle. Elia's rose. Silence crashed down, all eyes locked on the human, the decoration, as Yuvesh once sneered. Consort Mercer, Yuvesh growled. The session proceeds without interruption. No, Elias stepped forward, voice steady. One signature opens this palace to enemies. Demand a live demonstration first. Let your auditors test access now. Show the impact. Kithra's frills flattened. Preposterous, this insults. Authorize it, Elias pressed, locking eyes with Salith. Treat me as your agent for 1 hour, I'll oversee. Courtiers hissed. Yuvesh's claws scraped stone. The human oversteps, he knows nothing of Vorthari security. Salith raised a claw, quiet fell like a blade. Consort Mercer speaks for me. Her gaze held his trust, earned in drills and dark tunnels. Envoy provide 5 auditors, they enter now. Chancellor enforce protocol, Commander Rix escort them. 1 hour, Elias leads evaluation. Rix saluted sharp. As commanded. Kithra smirked, signaling her entourage. 5 Vorthari and envoy cloaks stepped up, lean-eyed like predators. We comply, but trivial, our methods are flawless. Elias nodded to Rix. Start at East Wing, full access, vents, conduits, throne sublevels. The group moved. Elias followed, Salith's gaze burning his back. Courtiers trailed at a distance, whispers buzzing. First stop, service corridors off the East Gallery. Auditors fanned out, claws probing panels. One pried a grate, sparks flew. Standard scan, he grunted. Elias watched. Vorthari builds favored grand halls, but substructures twisted like roots. He had mapped them during drills, widened vents for kits, standardized glyphs. Human memory locked layouts cold. Proceed to sublevel 3, Elias directed. Conduits there. Rix grunted approval. Tight fit, watch claws. Auditors squeezed into the dim tunnel. Elias slipped in last, flashlight beam cutting gloom. Pipes hummed, air thick with ozone, an auditor ahead cursed. Dead end, maps lied. No, Elias pointed. Shift left panel, glyph sequence, 3 up, rotate. The auditor twisted it, walls slid, gasps echoed. Human trick, Kithra snapped from behind. Practical, Elias advanced. Empire's maze needs practice. They pushed deeper, auditors scanned, 2 slow, missing branches, 1 triggered a pressure plate. Alarms whooped false, but lockdown clamps nearly sealed them. Rix yanked Elias back. Idiots, see, Elias said. Access invites this, 1 slip, Kithra waved it off. Training lapse, real auditors excel. Timer ticked, 20 minutes gone. Elias led to core conduits, heart of palace power. Full sweep here. Auditors dove in, chaos brewed. 1 yanked a relay, lights flickered hall-wide, another vented steam, scalding scales. Enough, Yuvesh bellowed from the entrance. Demonstration fails, human medals. Salith's voice cut through, she had followed. Continue, report consort. Elias keyed his comm. Auditors breach protocols, conduits exposed, power dips 5%. Courtiers murmured awe, Rix's eyes narrowed, respect dawning. Kithra snarled. Fabrications. We demand throne access next. Denied. Elias blocked the stare. Hour ends soon, review impacts first. Then alarms wailed, real ones, red lights pulsed. Thalix breach, sublevels compromised, screams erupted above. Explosions rocked stone deeper than before, Rix spun. Intruders, 2 teams, east vents. Elias mind lit, his maze, Thalix saboteurs, rivals to Kithra's faction. Conduits sparked below. Commander, flank left glyph path. Elias grabbed a toolkit from a panel, his drill stock. Auditors, seal that relay, now. Kithra's team froze. We audit, not fight. Salith gripped Elias' arm, her claws pricked, fear masked as command. Lead them out, save the core. He nodded, pulse raced, her touch grounded him. Rix with me, auditors, follow or evacuate. Rix barked orders, guards surged. Elias dove first, crawling low, flashlight piercing smoke. Maze unfolded, vent right, drop shoot, glyph lock. Explosion boomed behind, auditor screamed, caught in collapse. Left branch, Elias yelled. Pull him. Rix hauled the injured Vorthari, scales blistered. How do you know these paths? Drills. Elias pried a grate. Thalix shadows darted ahead, cloaked, armed with plasma cutters. Gunfire cracked, Vorthari energy bolts. Elias ducked, rolled, human reflexes dodged a stray shot. He lobbed a stun grenade from his kit, flashbang, human surplus. Thalix reeled. Rix fired, dropped one. Flank! Elias sprinted the bypass, narrow for Vorthari bulk. He reached the core chamber first. Saboteurs rigged charges on the Nexus crystal, Palace power heart. Stop, he charged, tackling the lead Thalix. Fists flew. Human grapples outmatched scaled strength in close quarters. Thalix grunted, claw raking his shoulder. Blood-welled, ignored, Rix burst in. Consort! Together they subdued. Elias wrenched the detonator, crystal safe. Auditors stumbled in wide-eyed. Kithra gaped from the rear. Impossible, human, navigated blind. Alarms quieted. Guards swarmed, cuffing Thalix. Salith arrived, robes singed. She pulled Elias up, claws gentle on his wound. You saw it. Court poured in Yuvash pale, courtiers stunned. Claws rejected, Salith declared, voice steel. Envoy withdraw, Chancellor audit your loyalties. Kithra bowed stiffly. This changes nothing. It changes everything. Elias met her glare. Salith's hand squeezed his bond fierce. Rix clasped Elias' shoulder. May's master, my drill's your lead. Yuvash slunk back, silenced. Later in her chambers, Salith sealed the door. She traced his bandage, frills violet. They saw, ordinary human saves extraordinary empire. Elias pulled her close, lips met ridges, fire reignited. We mesh always. But calm buzzed, Rix, consort, Thalix confessed, bigger plot, Kithra's signature on explosives. Elias tensed, Salith's claws tightened. Round 2 loomed, darkness crashed over the throne room. Salith's claws dug into Elias' arm. Blast doors boomed shut, sealing the chamber. Courtiers shrieked. Hollow displays winked out mid-demonstration. Assassins, Commander Rix bellowed. His silhouette lunged for Salith. Majesty bunker now, Elias flicked on his headlamp. The narrow beam sliced the black, pinning Rix's scaled face in white glare. Vorthari eyes squinted, night-blind in blackout. Elias yanked a breather mask from his diplomat's belt. Human gear. Palace issue failed in true dark. Salith twisted free of Rix. Elias. With me? Elias grabbed her wrist. Cool scales met warm skin. He pulled her toward the service wall. Rix barked orders at guards. Fists hammered sealed doors. Yuvesh's voice whined from the shadows. This human's fault, he tampered. Quiet. Rix shoved courtiers back. He scooped Salith's other arm. Bunker path, move. They charged the rear panel. Elias pried it open, familiar latch from yesterday's maze run. Maintenance shaft yawned, narrow. Vorthari's shoulders wouldn't fit. Rix cursed, bulk jamming the entry. Go, Elias shoved Salith inside. She slid forward on all fours, frills brushing his beam. Elias followed, headlamp bobbing. Rix squeezed halfway, then stuck fast. Comms report, Static hissed. Power failure killed links. Dark pressed in. Shaft air stank of ozone and lubricant. Salith crawled ahead. Elias light. He swung the beam. Walls gleamed with conduits. Junctions branched left, right. Yesterday's paths burned in his memory. Human recall, maps from briefings, shadows from drills. Vorthari relied on glow markers, dead now. Left fork 50 meters. Elias tapped her flank. She nodded, claws scraping durasteel. Rix grunted behind, wedged. Consort, pull me. Can't, too tight. Elias braced. No time. Distant booms echoed, breaches elsewhere. Safe node ahead. Secondary power. Salith accelerated. Her tail flicked his chest. Trust. Born in fire yesterday. Elias scanned ceilings, vents, possible eyes. Clang ahead. Salith froze. Hatch! Elias killed the light, listened. Scraping metal. Torch hiss. Assassins cutting through. Thalix work plasma cutters whined high. Back, he hissed, but shaft dead-ended behind. Rix's heavy breaths filled the dark. They're through the secure hatch. Flank us. Salith's frills quivered. Violet glow, fear sent. Fight. No. Elias relit the beam. Low, he crawled past her, hatch ahead buckled, sparks flew, scaled arm punched through. Elias rammed his shoulder, arm retracted with a screech. He grabbed a loose conduit pipe improvised bar, jammed it into the hatch frame, twisted. Metal groaned. Torch flared brighter, claws raked the gap. Vorn witch, die! Salith slashed back, blood sprayed hers, no Thalix. Elias heaved, pipe bent, held, he yanked his belt knife, slashed the intruding claw, yell echoed. Node now! Elias reversed, pushed Salith toward the fork. She scrambled, Rix reversed too, scales scraping. Human hold! Go! Elias braced the pipe solo, hatch warped. 2 assassins now, faces scaled and scarred, Kithra's colors on their sashes, rival mark. One lunged. Elias dodged, knife flashing, grazed throat. Blood slicked the floor, slippery, he slipped, shoulder slamming wall. Pain lanced, old wound reopened. Salith's claw yanked his collar. Elias, he kicked free, pipe snapped, hatch flew open, assassins poured in 3, plasma daggers glowed. Rix exploded backward from the shaft. Reversed bulk freed by blood lube, he roared, charged, tackled the lead Thalix, fists crushed scales. Elias rolled, grabbed Salith, dragged her left. Node! They burst into the safe chamber. Backup Jenny hummed, low lights flickered on. Console blinked green. Elias slapped the alarm, palace-wide klaxon wailed. Rix bellowed from the shaft. Thalix grunts answered. Blaster fire cracked. Salith sealed the node door, her chest heaved. Frills pulsed violet to crimson. You knew the paths again. Elias wiped blood from his knife. Diagrams practice. Human ordinary. Vorthari doctrine skipped the walls. Door rattled. Rix's voice cut through. Clear consort status. Safe. Salith hit the comm. Power trickled back. Lights hummed faint. Elias leaned on the console. Shoulder throbbed. Her claws probed the tear, gentle. Wounded. Minor. He caught her gaze. Gold eyes locked. Heat built. Bond pulled. Rix burst in, dragging a cuffed Thalix. Nose smashed. Talk, who sent? Thalix spat. Uvesh, Kithra funds, human weakens her. Salith's frills flared red rage. Traitors. Elias straightened. Proof. Rix ripped the sash. Hidden data chip slotted into console. Hollow sprang up. Uvesh's face. Power failure covers the cut. Queen dies in dark. Kithra takes throne room. Courtier's gasps echoed over comms. Throne room unsealed. Guards swarmed. Salith's claw gripped Elias' hand. You walked me through walls, saved us. Team, he squeezed back. Her scales warmed under his palm. Rix nodded. May's master, drills change, human lead. Alarms quieted, but console pinged. Incoming transmission, Kithra's seal. Envoy demands parley now. Salith's eyes hardened. Round 2. Elias felt her pulse race, his matched. Guards hauled the Thalix away. Rix sealed the node. Majesty consort, throne room secured, Uvesh detained. Salith paced the small space. Frills settled to blue resolve. She turned to Elias. Court saw yesterday, today bunker feeds recorded it, no more whispers. Elias nodded. His headlamp dangled from belt, scratched but whole, human tool, ignored until needed. They underestimate. Small spaces, memory, your strength covers the rest. She stepped close. Claws traced his jaw, ridges met skin. My consort, ordinary, no. Lips brushed her frill base. Electric, she shivered, pulled him tighter. Kiss deepened, scales to flesh, fire, calm crackled. Majesty Kithra's shuttle inbound, armed escort. Salith broke away, eyes blazed. Prepare. Elias holstered the knife, shoulder ached but steady. Bigger plot unraveled, Uvesh's game exposed. Kithra pushed. They exited the node. Palace lights flickered full. Guards saluted. Whispers followed. The human again. In the corridor, courtiers bowed deeper. Uvesh dragged past in cuffs, pale scales. Consort, mercy. Elias met his glare, silent. Throne room loomed, doors parted. Kithra stood center, flanked by her envoy guard. Smirk faded at Salith's approach. Envoy. Salith's voice cut steel. Your assassins failed, treaty off, exile. Kithra's frills twitched. Proof. Rix tossed the data chip. It skittered to her feet. Her guards shifted. Elias stepped forward, Salith's hand on his back. Protective, Kithra snatched it. Hollow replayed her signature, gasps rippled. Withdraw, Salith commanded, or join Uvesh. Kithra bowed stiff. This changes dynamics. She signaled retreat. Doors sealed behind her. Court erupted cheers. Rix clasped Elias' good shoulder. Lead the next drill, consort. Salith pulled him aside. Private alcove. They see you now. Elias grinned. Us. Her claws linked his fingers. Bond sealed in crisis. Elias slammed the service console hatch. Sparks showered his hands. He ignored the burn. Rix's squad needed comms now. Assassins prowled the outer corridors. Palace lockdown jammed every signal. Consort, hurry. Salith gripped his shoulder. Her claws pricked through his tunic. Steady pressure, trust. He stripped wires from the console's innards. Twisted a power cell free. Humans jury-rigged. Aliens engineered. This would bridge the gap. He spliced the repeater coil to his wrist comm. Crude, effective, static crackled. Commander Rix, this is Elias. Repeater live, status. Rix's voice punched through, gravelly. Consort cut off at Junction 14. 3 hostiles pinned us, heavy blades, we hold, but converge on central axis, Salith cut in. Her voice sliced the line, royal command. All units to the consort's mark. Elias patched the corridor map onto the console hollow. Palace schematics burned in his mind. Months of quiet walks, mapping every vent, every blind turn. Aliens navigated by instinct, he navigated by memory. Guards from East Wing, he said. Reroute to Sublevel 3, bypass the Gala Hall. Frills rustled behind him. Salith's breath warmed his neck. You memorized that? Ordinary habit. He keyed the commands. Doors hissed open on his overlay. Guards streamed icons toward the trap. Rix grunted approval. Moving, hostiles pushing hard. Elias traced the assassin's path. 3 blips closing fast. Kithra's envoy guard, 2 coordinated. He set the bait. Lit a decoy route on the guard channels. False signal. Throne room breach, all to primary hall. Salith's tail brushed his leg, alert. Clever. Not clever. Practical, he watched the blips veer, straight into the maintenance bay. Dead end, no exits, vents too narrow for their bulk. They're taking it, Rix reported, boots pounded over comms. Consort's route gold, closing the noose. Elias holstered his stun prod. Shoulder throbbed from earlier scuffle. Knife graze, he pushed it down. Salith's hand lingered on his back, warm scales against fabric. Alarms wailed, footsteps echoed down the corridor, courtiers scattered earlier. Now silence, Elias led the way, Salith at his side. Her blade gleamed, they reached the bay doors, sealed, muffled clashes inside, grunts, metal on metal. Rix, breach on my mark. Elias synced the override. Mark. Explosive charges popped, doors flew wide, Rix's squad surged, disciplined, blades high. Assassins whirled, hulking figures in black cloaks. Frills flared in rage, one lunged. Rix parried, drove him back, Elias flanked left. Stun prod crackled, he jabbed the nearest assailant's neck. Alien spasmed, dropped. Salith struck true, her blade pierced another's thigh. He howled, claws raked air, last one charged Rix. Elias tripped him with a console cable. Rix pinned him, cuffs snapped. Panting filled the bay, blood slicked the deck, tools scattered from knocked shelves. Rix hauled the leader up, ripped his cloak, foreign insignia gleamed. Audit stripes, Kithra's colors. Envoy's mark, Rix growled. Traitors! Salith snatched the credentials from the gear pouch, scanned the chip, her eyes narrowed. Kithra Nin's seal, direct order. Elias wiped sweat, leaned on the wall, adrenaline ebbed, shoulder fire now. Rix clasped his arm, firm grip. You outrouted them, consort, no guns, just paths. Anyone can map a palace. Elias shrugged, but aliens stared, frills low, respect. Salith sheathed her blade, pulled him close, claws traced his jaw. Not anyone, my consort. Her lips brushed his frill base. No, his ear, electric shiver, she pressed tighter, scales to skin, calm crackled anew. Majesty Kithra's shuttle inbound, armed escort. Salith broke the kiss, eyes blazed steel. Prepare. Elias holstered the prod, shoulder ached steady. Plot unraveled, they exited the bay, lights flickered full. Guards saluted sharper, whispers trailed. The human routed them. Corridor cleared, Uvesh dragged past in cuffs, pale scales drained. Consort, mercy. Elias met his glare, silent nod, no words needed. Throne room doors parted. Kithra stood center, flanked by envoy guard, smirk firm. Salith strode forward, Elias at her side, hand on his back, protective. Envoy, Salith's voice cut. Your assassins failed, treaty off, exile. Kithra's frills twitched. Proof. Rix tossed the data chip, skittered to her feet. Guards shifted. Elias tensed. Salith's grip tightened. Kithra snatched it. Hollow flared, her signature on the orders. Gasps rippled through assembled court. Withdraw, Salith commanded, or join Uvesh. Kithra bowed stiff. This changes dynamics. Signal to retreat. Doors sealed. Court erupted. Cheers thundered. Rix gripped Elias' good shoulder. Lead the next drill, consort. Salith drew him to alcove, private. They see you now, Elias grinned. Us. Claws linked fingers, bond sealed. But whispers lingered. Uvesh's allies, Kithra's retreat too smooth. Elias scanned the map in his mind, new paths forming. Empire watched. Hours later, palace quieted. Salith's chambers glowed soft. She traced his bandage, gentle claws. You hid this skill. Diplomats walk. We learn floors. He pulled her close, lips met scales, fire built slow, her tail coiled his leg. Court calls you extraordinary. Humble roots. Kiss deepened, her frill quivered, calm buzzed low. Rix, consort drill plans? Elias smiled against her skin. Tomorrow. Salith laughed soft. Claws dug in, claimed. Outside, stars wheeled over the empire. Human touch steadied the throne. Elias dreamed of maps, infinite paths, her beside him. Dawn broke, council summoned. Uvesh's confession spilled names. Kithra's fleet lingered at border. Salith rose, Elias at flank. We reroute them all. Court bowed, no whispers now, he didn't outgun, he outrouted. Empire endured, Rix drilled squads under Elias overlays, guards adapted, faster paths, tighter nets. Salith watched from balcony, pride in her stance. Hand found his. Ordinary, she murmured. Extraordinary us. Lips met, Empire hummed below, bond unbreakable, Kithra's next move brewed. Elias mapped it already, palace no secret, human edge sharp, commander nodded in passage. Your bays trap well. Memorize yours. Elias clapped back. Aliens learned, humans shared, Salith pulled him to strategy dome, hollow spun borders, show me. He traced fingers, decoy fleets, dead-end jumps, her eyes lit. Marry this mind forever. Already did, claws linked, fire reignited. Crisis passed, new ones loomed, Elias ready, queen fiercer, empire saved by roots, human ordinary, alien awe, they walked corridors, guards parted, whispers, the mapper. Elias grinned, Salith's tail flicked joy, bond deepened, paths endless. Salith strode into the grand chamber, her claws clicking against polished stone. Replay the logs, every hatch, every telemetry feed. Now, the court hushed. Hollow projectors hummed to life above the central dais. Chancellor Uvash shifted in his seat, mandibles twitching. Envoy Kithra Nin lounged across the aisle, her rival crest feathers unruffled. Commander Rix Tal stood rigid at Salith's right, optic stalks locked forward. Elias Mercer flanked her left, silent, steady. His human hand rested light on the dais edge. The first log flickered, shadows breached the outer vents. Silent crawlers slithered through maintenance shafts, alarms silent, Salith's tail lashed. Magnified junctions, all unsecured paths, text scrambled, feeds split into a web of glowing lines. The attack unfolded, intruders ghosted past guards, bypassed seals, converged on her private wing. Uvesh cleared his throat. Majesty, a fluke, our shields held the core. Fluke, Salith's voice cut steel. They reached my door. Kithra leaned forward, voice silk over venom. Regrettable lapse, my treaty offers aid, shared defenses. Elias stirred. Salith felt his gaze on her, permission, she nodded once, sharp. He stepped forward, court eyes snapped to him, the human, the polite shadow. With respect, Elias said, voice even, I'll walk it. He moved not to the hollow, to the chamber's side archway. A replica hatch gleamed there, exact palace model, wired live for demo. Salith watched, heart quickened. Elias palmed the first panel, it hissed open. Junction Alpha 7, magnetic lock degraded. Crawler mag boots bypass in 3 seconds. He slipped through, body low. Shadows played on his form. Court murmured. Rix's stalks widened. Elias ghosted to the next. Beta 12, thermal vent unsealed. Intruder heat masked here. Fingers traced seams. A click. Panel yawned. Salith's breath caught. She'd walked these halls blind. Guards posted at majors, but Elias named minors. Every crack he flowed on. Gamma 4, acoustic baffle weak. Sound nullifier slips past. Hatch popped. No key, no force. Uvesh hissed. Trained eyes see that. Elias didn't pause. Delta 19, power conduit flicker, 1 second window. He crouched, mimed insertion. Crawler path lit on hollow behind, matched perfect. Kithra's feathers bristled. Performance, not proof. Elias reached the final replica, her door, he straightened. Turned to the court. 22 junctions, all unsecured, attack path clear in 5 minutes. Your palace, open book. Silence crushed. Salith's claws dug into her thrown arms. Pride surged hot. Her human, ordinary, he saw paths no Vorthanite caught. Rix grunted approval. How scanners missed those? Pattern recognition, Elias said, simple, humble. Human nav training, ships, cities, hives, same webs. Kithra shot up. Lies, no envoy craft near, my code's clean. Elias smiled faint, tapped his wrist slate. Logs say otherwise, hollow flared. Embedded code snippet scrolled. Kithra's signature, buried in crawler firmware, timestamp from her shuttle dock. Court gasped. Uvesh paled. Triggered now, Elias said. He fed the code live. Replica hatches across the chamber, demo models locked tight. Red alerts blared. Her access revoked, but it opened everything tonight. Kithra snarled. Fabrication, diplomatic immunity, Salith rose, voice thunder. Stripped, guards detain envoy Kithra Nin, treasonous breach. Rix's squad surged. Kithra thrashed, claws flashing. You'll regret. My fleet masses. Detain Chancellor Uvash too, Salith pointed. He buried the clause in your treaty draft, aiding breach for power. Uvesh bolted, too slow. Guards pinned him, mandibles clamped, court erupted, cheers mixed shouts. Salith silenced them with a glare. Elias stepped back to her side. Hand brushed hers, warm, steady. She gripped it, tight. You saw it all from day one. Memorized on arrival, he murmured. Kept quiet, respect. Her tail curled round his leg. Claim, no more quiet. Text swarmed hatches now. Elias directed. Seal Alpha 7 magnetic. Route patrols Beta 12. Rix barked orders. Squads moved. Salith watched him work. Human mind mapped her world. Vorthans built empires on brute force, fleets that crushed stars. But paths, humans threaded needles in voids. Kithra spat from custody. Freak pet, empire falls without my pact. Elias glanced over. Your fleet, I rerouted scouts, dead-end nebula, they'll starve fuel in days. Rix barked laugh. Trap bays active. Set, Elias nodded. Your drills adapt fast. Court nobles bowed deeper. Whispers. The mapper. Salith pulled Elias aside. Chamber cleared to echoes. Her claws traced his jaw. They mocked you liability, he chuckled soft. Let them action proves. Lips met, fierce, her tongue flicked his, heat built. Palace secure now, his touch sealed it. She broke kiss, eyes locked. Show the borders, full map. Strategy dome awaited, hollow spun vast. Elias traced fingers, decoy lanes, ambush jumps. Kithra's fleet lit red, funneled to doom. Salith's crest flared joy. Marry this forever. Done, his hand cupped her neck. Claws pricked gentle, fire reignited. Bodies pressed, empire hummed below. Safe, dawn broke, council summoned anew. Uvesh confessed under glare, names spilled. Kithra's allies named. Salith rose, Elias at flank. Reroute patrols, all levels. Court bowed, no whispers. Awe, Rix drilled squads under Elias overlays. Guards adapted, faster paths, tighter nets. Salith watched from balcony, pride swelled, hand found his. Ordinary, extraordinary us. Lips met again, Kithra's rage brewed in cells. Elias mapped her next play already. Palace corridors sang now, guards parted for them. Mapper leads. Salith's tail flicked joy, bond deepened. Paths endless, but alarms wailed faint, border ping. Scout escaped, Elias straightened. Show me the feed. Hollow bloomed, new threat vector. His eyes narrowed, fingers danced. New routes spun, Salith leaned in. Together, always. Empire endured, human edge sharp, queen fiercer. Commander Rix clapped Elias' shoulder in passage. Your bays trap well. Memorize yours. Elias grinned back. Aliens learned, humans shared. Salith pulled him deeper into strategy dome. Hollow world full borders. Every path, he traced. Decoys layered, dead ends chained. Her eyes lit fierce, claws linked with fingers. Passion flared, bodies tangled amid glows. Crisis passed. New ones loomed. Elias ready. She claimed him harder. Throne steadied by touch. Outside, stars wheeled, infinite webs, human ordinary, alien awe, they walked halls anew. Whispers followed, he sees all. Salith smiled, her mapper, her heart. But Kithra's envoy ship signaled, demand audience, plot thickened. Elias paused at junction, trap it here. Salith nodded, lead, bond unbreakable, empire saved by roots. Rix reported, fleets inbound, your paths hold. Good, Elias sketched quick overlay. Adapt this flank. Vorthan's strength met human cunning. Victory brewed. Salith watched him brief squads, humble commands. Results poured, night fell, private wing secure. She drew him to bed, claws raked gentle. Prove it again. He did, paths of flesh, intense, shared, dawn council loomed, bigger threats. Elias dreamed maps beside her, infinite. Queen slept sound, human touch anchored all. Elias woke to Salith's claws tracing his chest. Dawn light filtered through the private wing's armored slits. She propped on one elbow, violet eyes sharp. Council assembles now, she said. Kithra's envoy pushes her treaty. Uvesh circles. He nodded, swinging legs off the bed. Silk sheets whispered against skin. He pulled on his tunic, human cut, simple among her court's flowing robes. They strode into the grand chamber. Hollow thrones hummed. Chancellor Uvesh stood at the central dais, tentacles writhing. Envoy Kithra Nin loomed opposite, her rival empire's crest pulsing on her exosuit. Commander Rix Tal flanked the queen's seat, mandibles clicking tension. Salith claimed her throne. Elias took position at her side, silent as protocol demanded. Kithra bowed low, spines flaring. Queen Salith, my empire offers alliance. Your borders bleed. Sign now, open audits of your infrastructure. We rebuild for a price. Uvesh leaned in, voice oily. Wise terms our human consort distracts. Accept. Salith's tail flicked. Elias felt her glance, subtle signal. He stepped forward. Envoy, Elias said, voice steady. Audits expose weaknesses, exchange them for joint training, teach your engineers our fallback systems, infrastructure bonds empires. Kithra's compound eyes narrowed. Human folly, our plasma grids outshine your primitives. Primitives held when your grids failed last incursion. Elias tapped the hollow console. Diagrams spun up, evac routes, manual overrides. Train together, mutual gain, Yuvash hissed. He oversteps. Salith raised a claw. Silence fell. Speak merits, Elias. He projected palace schematics. Layers peeled back, redundant vents, shadow paths. Your audits get data, we get shared drills, no humiliation. Kithra hesitated, her spines retracted fractionally. Intriguing, provisional accord. Yuvash sputtered. Rix watched, unblinking. Salith nodded. Draft it. Elias oversees terms. Council murmured. Kithra's shuttle departed with promises. Elias exhaled. First barrier cracked. Rix cornered him in the corridor. The commander's armored frame blocked escape. Your route's intrigue, fleet's probe flanks. Drill my guards, evac protocols, low-tech fallbacks. Elias met the insected gaze. Happy to meet in the bays at shift end. They gathered squads in the underpalace. Dim glow orbs flickered, power fluctuations from border skirmishes. Guards milled, exoskeletons clanking. Rix barked orders. Human leads, learn or perish. Elias unrolled printed maps, paper, alien rarity. Power dies, follow these, no hollow reliance. A guard scoffed, mandibles parting. We wield plasma lances, your scribbles. Watch. Elias killed the main lights. Darkness swallowed the bay, gasps echoed. He clicked his belt flashlight. Beam pierced void, steady white, traced walls, lit decoy vents. Primary route compromised, shift here. Chain dead ends trap intruders. Guards froze. One fumbled glow orb, fizzled dead. Another's plasma hilt sparked, useless without charge. Elias moved fluid. Beam danced, junction left, fallback ladder exposed. Memorized by touch, muscle roots. Rix tested, killed his own light. Again. Elias obliged, beam cut precise. Guards stumbled, then synced. Claws gripped maps, voices hushed awe. Human light, endures, one muttered. Ordinary tool, Elias said, saved my world's blackouts. Rix clapped his pauldron. Irreplaceable, my lancers recharge slow, yours instant. Alarms blared mid-drill. Border breach, scouts inbound palace vents. Execute, Rix roared. Elias flicked beam alive. Guards flowed into shadows. He led point, flashlight carving paths. Intruders poured rival drones, cloaked. Plasma grids surged, then crashed. Palace plunged black. Here, Elias yelled. Beam hit decoy grate. Drones funneled in. Guards sealed it, boom echoed, fallbacks chained. Elias traced true evac. Rix's squad flanked, lances priming on his mark. Last drone word close. Elias swept beam into its sensors, optics fried. Guards speared it, lights flickered on. Wreckage smoked. Rix scanned Elias. Your light slew it, our grids failed. Teamwork, Elias said, pocketing the flashlight. Humble metal, human ordinary. Salith arrived with Yuvash trailing, her eyes locked on Elias. Report, Rix saluted. Human paths held. His beam blinded the core drone. We replicate no such endurance. Yuvash paled, tentacles coiling. Coincidence, Salith silenced him. She crossed the bay, took Elias' hand. Claws-laced fingers, public defiant. Guards bowed deeper. Open court assembles, she declared. Now. Throne hall packed, nobles whispered. Kithra's revised treaty hollow glowed, training clauses sealed. Salith pulled Elias beside her throne. Yuvash shifted uneasy. Rix stood sentinel. Court, Salith intoned, voice carrying. This human mapped our salvation, drilled our steel. Lit our dark. Claws tightened on his hand. Heat rose, bond electric. By imperial law, I name Elias Mercer partner in rule, co-regent. His word binds as mine. Gasps rippled. Yuvash choked. Kithra linked remote. Spines quivered on feed. Elias squeezed back. Honor serves. She leaned close, breath warm on his ear. You serve me deeper. Nobles knelt. Rix thumped chest. Loyalty doubled. Yuvash bowed stiff. Power slipped. Salith led Elias from dais, hand firm. Private wing awaited. Door sealed. She pushed him against stone. Claws shredded tunic. Prove your light again. He grinned, flashlight tumbling free. Beam danced walls as bodies met. Passion raw, claws raking, hips grinding. Her scales yielded to his touch. Moans echoed, queen claimed fully. Peak shattered. She curled against him, tail coiling leg. Politics forged us, you forged empire. He stroked her crest. Flashlight did the rest. Laughter mingled. Alarms quieted outside. Bigger threats loomed, Kithra's full fleets, but paths mapped. Light ready, bond unbreakable. Council feeds buzzed. Yuvash plotted shadows. Rix drilled nonstop. Elias dreamed new overlays beside her. Infinite webs. Human ordinary sharpened Vorthan edge. Salith slept sound, her co-ruler's touch anchored all. Kithra's armada signaled parley. Trap sprung, Elia's rose, flashlight in hand. Lead the way.